Hello and welcome to another episode of Star Citizen. Today we're going to be looking at some mining mechanics. We're not going to be going over a lot of the basic mechanics. There's a lot of other great videos on that. But today we're going to be looking at some pro tips, how to maximize your amount of mining profit that you're getting and how to do it best. What do you guys say? You want to do that? You into that? Great. Pro tip number 1. So first, you need to find a piece of mineable rock. What might seem intuitive is to hold down the scanner till it gets charged to 100% and then release for a maximum ping. Well, what that will do is it will give you the longest range on a scan, but you can miss rocks right under your nose. So I'd suggest doing a couple little short burst pings, or maybe about a half or quarter strength ping. You can find sometimes a rock right where you're standing. Pro tip number 2. Don't put too much stock in the locational advice of other people. Some people say, the only place that you can find decent rocks is in the mountains, or the only place you can find good rocks is at the bottom of craters, or only mine the dark areas of moons. I've found that good rocks appear everywhere. Mountains, plains, craters, you name it. They're procedurally generated, scattered around. Good rocks can be everywhere. So just look around. Wherever you are, it's always a good chance to find a decent rock. Pro tip number 3. You can spend hours looking for that perfect high-grade rock, that really nice piece of agricium or laranite with a high percentage. It can also take hours to even extract it. The stability is high, and that little band that you have to keep in to be able to fracture the rock is just a millimeter wide. It's almost impossible to get. Sometimes it's better to find a reasonably good rock and not a great rock. Something that you can go in, mine it fast, and get out. You might be able to make 3 or 4 or 5 runs in the same time it takes to just find one good rock. So don't overlook the lower grade ores as long as they have a reasonable amount in them. We'll see why that actually was to my advantage later on. Pro tip number 4. So you've gone in, you've busted up the rock, that's great. And again, do it fast. Those lower quality rocks have usually a much more stable, lower resistance, and you can get them quickly. But once you've broken up the rock, sometimes the pieces are laying on top of each other. It's hard to get to the rocks. Use your Prospector mining tip and slowly move in there to move those rocks out of the way. You can nudge the ones that are on top. If they're actually stuck to the ground, not so much. But you can lift these rocks and throw them out of your way to get to the good stuff underneath, because the high percentage rock that you might want is underneath. Remember, when the rocks fracture, they don't fracture with the equal percentage in all chunks. Some may be empty, and some may have 25%. So you got to find the good stuff and mine the good stuff first, which is pro tip 5. Now maybe this should have come before pro tip 4, but it's always a good idea to get good control of your ship when you're mining. In the new flight model, use the speed limiter and dial that thing all the way down, just about, until you've got a very fine amount of control. This will allow you to move your ship in close, move it back, and be able to make your ship as stable as possible for moving whenever you're mining the rock. Nothing's worse than wanting to ease in a little bit or nudge off to the right and left, and you just completely have to get control of your ship again. It also allows you to do that little tip about kicking rocks out of the way with your ship. Pro tip number 6. Sometimes you don't even need to scan for a rock to detect it. I think there might be something about the little scanning disc or whatever it is underneath the ship that if you fly low and close to the ground while you're looking for rocks, sometimes you'll pick up a rock that's, well, right there that you didn't even see before with a scan. And you didn't even try to scan for it. Those might actually be the key rock. So fly low and keep your eyes peeled. Pro tip number 7. Now when I came here to mine this rock, I didn't even actually come to mine a rock. I was here on a box pickup mission. You can grab the boxes in the delivery missions, pick them up and carry them on board your Prospector, be able to execute those missions. But while I was already at this planet, I decided to do a couple quick scans, find a reasonable rock, and mine it. And again, time is money.
I'm in it for the money.
So I wanted to do it quickly and efficiently without spending an hour looking for a great rock. All I was trying to do is to add that extra little bit of UEC on top of what I already had. There's nothing wrong with doubling down and using your prospector for more than just mining, but using that mining to just get that extra little bit on top. And those lower quality rocks that I mentioned before, hey, if I can just grab a rock, mine it up, get an extra 1,000 in 5 minutes, I'm not going to turn that down. I hope you picked up a couple extra hints for your own mining, and if you saw something you liked, well, you can hit the like button. I'd also be curious about any of your own mining tips that you might want to put in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.
Landing complete. Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.